One of the big neat items that's going to be part of Platinum Night is a $10,000 bill from the Binion Hoard. This was one of the 100 $10,000 bills that was on display in the massive horseshoe display in the Binion Casino in Las Vegas. He had $1 million on display in $10,000 bills, and this is one of the highest graded examples. This one's lovely because it doesn't have any damage. It's very high grade, nice, crisp, uncirculated PMG 64.
How many $10,000 bills do you think there are in existence?
Well, there's a good census that's out there, so there's around 220 that are known to collectors. 100 of them came out of this particular hoard, which is why it's such a fun area to collect. This is one of the trophy notes in numismatics.
What kind of value?
This particular piece will probably be estimated at between $120,000 and $140,000.
This is a very special note. In the 14 years that I've been doing this is the first polar bear note that I've ever been able to buy that has no negative comments, as well as it's been fully issued and signed. This is a rare example. There are about 10 known, and it shows a dramatic motif of a polar bear trying to board a small vessel of seal hunters. In the very background, you'll see the mothership, which was too far away to render assistance. And this is one of the finest examples that I've been able to, this is one of the finest examples that I've ever seen.
What was the idea behind the Broken Banks series?
Well, the United States was trying to figure out for several decades a way to create a financial system where businesses and citizens of the United States could buy and exchange goods and services. And this was just an example of a bank in Philadelphia, and they would issue their own notes. Shortly after the start of the Civil War, these notes became illegal and were no longer accepted at face value.
What kind of value?
This, in my opinion, is one of the greatest bargains here on the numismatic floor. I am asking $7,500 for this rare item.
What I have here is a R&S experimental star replacement pair. These notes were issued, a series of 1935A, issued around the early 1940s, and we call them experimental notes because the government wanted to try out the difference of paper linens combination to see potentially if they could increase the longevity of circulating banknotes. R stands for regular and S stands for special. Star notes in this area, no matter what grade they are extremely rare. These two particular notes, grade Gem New 65, exceptional paper quality by PMG.
What is a star note?
Star notes are replacement notes. When the BEP prints notes, unfortunately, mistakes happen, either human error or machine error, damages to the notes. We slip in notes to keep the ledger in order. So we would print a order of star notes beforehand, say 100,000. As mistakes happen, they would just slip the damaged note out, whether it's a sheet or a single note through the pack, and slip them in, so they could keep track of exactly how many they issued. Star notes are usually about, for every 100,000 banknotes, there's one issued damaged note that gets replaced for a star note. Because this was a very limited run, because they were done experimentally, star notes are extremely rare in any grade. These just happen to be an exceptional quality, actually the finest known.
What kind of value?
For the pair, roughly $35,000 to $45,000.
The fourth of the Montgomery issues was the $50 note. You had the thousands, the 500s, the hundreds, and the 50s. The 50s are a classic design rarity because you had the slaves on the front picking cotton. It was very important to the South to have agriculture as part of their economy. For obvious reasons, not everybody supports the history that's behind that, but this is a great instance where history is recorded on currency. You can see what was important to a culture, an economy, a country, based on what they put on their money. And this is one of those design classics that kind of exemplifies what was going on at the time and what was really important to that economy.
What kind of value?
This $50 Montgomery is expected to sell for between $20,000 and $30,000.
This note is a $10 note issued by the Bank of Southern Illinois in Bolton, Illinois in 1858. It's a very unusual note in that the printing is entirely in blue ink. It's very unusual for obsolete banknotes. Most everything was done in black or red or green. We very, very rarely see something blue, especially to have the whole note printed in blue, not just an overprint. This is a very interesting note. It has a big vignette here of a family on a river raft and some other ones in a boat alongside of it. And a log splitter down here with his axe in hand, and the state seal from the Treasury auditor's warrant from the state of Illinois. It's a very cool note, being that it's printed in blue.
Why were the broken banks issued?
Well, the state of Illinois had very tight banking regulations because other states had a lot of problems with banks. So you had to register with the bank and put up bonds and everything to be able to issue notes. So the very few banks in Illinois, and they were all pretty solid because they had to register. This is what the seal is here. This is the auditor's seal from the state of Illinois, showing that they were registered with the state and had bonds put up to redeem these notes, which makes them also extra valuable because almost all the notes from these banks in the early days were redeemed and the money taken out of circulation. So very few examples left around today. Probably only less than 2 or 3 of these notes in existence.
What kind of value?
This is about $1,000.